Hey planners, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Gabby and I have been a wedding planner for 12 years and I started this YouTube channel to help other wedding planners, whether you're new or experienced, learn a little bit more because I know that I learn every day and I love sharing my tips and tricks with you so that you can start or grow your business. So today I'm super excited because I'm going to take you behind the scenes of me creating a wedding timeline. I have a wedding coming up in about a month and I figured, hey, I'm doing this anyway. I might as well share my screen with you and show you what my thoughts are, what my brain process is, because sometimes I feel really scattered. I go all over the place, but then I also have mental notes that I was like, oh my God, I can't forget to write this or that. So I'm going to take you behind the scenes, show you the template that I use for my timeline, and hopefully teach you a thing or two. Or if not, if you are working on a timeline today too, please, let's do this together. Join me, get a beverage, and let's build the timeline together. As always, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like this. I am working really hard to be consistent in 2025, and that means one video per week for you. But in order to do that, I really need your support because I need to know that people out there are actually learning something from this, and this is helpful. And leave a comment below if there's anything specific that you would like me to share in future episodes or future videos. I would love that. Let's go. Okay, so let's jump into this timeline creation. In case you are like, what in the world is this platform? This is Notion. So I use Notion now. I recently left Aisle Planner and we are moving all of our clients in 2025 to Notion. This is a custom dashboard that was created for me and my team, and I am happy to do a full video walkthrough of what it looks like, but I did give a sneak peek on a past video that I will link here. So anyway, this is our client, Jenny and Chase. Their wedding's coming up in January and we are starting their timeline. So at the start of every timeline, I found it super helpful to add like a quick hit details. So this is something the venue and the vendors are going to see. So I let them know what the guest count is. We are still, I'm going to make a note actually, still waiting on final. Just as my own reminder. Jenny is getting ready at this location. Chase is getting ready in this location. Here's a ceremony location. Here's the reception. And I need a vendor count, actually. So this is a good reminder for me for vendor meals. I'm actually going to highlight that in red. And I'm also just going to highlight this in red to make sure I remember. Okay, so then we get to the actual timeline. I have plugged some things in already, as you can see, but I have gotten some new information from the vendors that I'm gonna go and put in, and I'll kind of walk you through my train of thoughts. So this wedding's kind of interesting. Their rehearsal party is the 9th, but the wedding's the 11th. So there's actually nothing happening on the 10th except like this, what they're calling a chill regroup day. So they're gonna have a lot of fun on the 9th. They're gonna recoup on the 10th, and then they're gonna have their wedding on the 11th, which I think is kind of fun, actually. If you're gonna have your people there all weekend, why not? So on the 9th, we are just doing basically a rehearsal dinner. There's only going to be 60 people. Again, I like to have my little details window here. TBD on where she's getting ready, TBD on where he's getting ready. The venue is Nichols Air downtown location. Great. And this is going to be a very simple timeline as of now. We are probably going to do rehearsal day of. This is something that's coming up more and more with my couples. We're most likely not going to do the rehearsal on the 9th. We're actually going to rehearse the day of the wedding, and we're just going to walk them through where they need to stand. I'm not stressed about it. They're not stressed about it. So that's probably going to happen. 5 o'clock cocktail hour begins at Nichols Air downtown. TBD if they're going to do speeches. I need to know from the client. So I have my final call with them coming up next week. This is something that I'm going to need to highlight for myself. So let's do that. Speeches. Okay, I do want to add a couple things, obviously, to here. I need to know what time dinner served. I also need to remind myself what style meal. This is all happening at Nichols Air downtown, of course. So I can just copy that. And I'm going to move this up around here. So I'm guessing I'm going to put TBD, but probably around 6:15 if we're doing like an hour cocktail, and then maybe they're going to sit. Is there going to be a welcome toast? I want to remind myself to ask them this. Is there a welcome toast before dinner? If so, I will break this category speeches into a pre-dinner toast and then the rest afterwards. Let's see. Okay, so there's going to be some hanging out and dancing. There's going to be some music. So I do need to add what time let's see, DJ arrival. What are they providing? This is something I need to know. So they're probably going to get there before cocktail hour. I also would like to know what time the bar and the caterer are arriving, because that is just important to know. Catering team arrives. What time? So I'll just put some TBDs here. And then bar team arrives. TBD. I also, just for my own knowledge, I want to know what drinks are being served, what is being served, and who is providing a bar menu. Bar menu provided by. I should also know if there are any rentals. Here's the thing, for this party, we are on site. We don't always stay for the rehearsal dinner, but this one we are. So I do kind of need to know that information. I wonder if I can drag this up. Oh, no, that didn't work. Thought I could. Okay, so again, all important questions. Honestly, I also just want to be able to answer questions if vendors ask, so it's not just for the flow, but also vendors need to know some of these answers. Rentals. Okay, so I'm going to add another line, TBD, rentals arriving, question mark. I don't know. Need a rental order if we are getting one. Okay, so there's obviously going to be other questions that pop up, and you'll see me go back and forth between my emails and the timeline and just filling it as we go. We're moving on to the next. Okay, here I have a note, because we can events not needed. So I don't need to know what's happening. I'm not going to be around. I'm going to take the day off. I'm going to go maybe explore the town, hang out, because I do have to be there for this day. So I'll have a day off. No problem. So let's move on to the wedding day. I've already, like I said, plugged in a ton of information, but I did not have a lot of vendor arrival time. So this afternoon, I emailed the vendors, and I just kind of said hi team, just want to quickly check in and introduce myself. I will be Jenny and Chase's wedding planner for their wedding, finalizing their timeline, and want to check with you separately on a few specific things. So I will also email some of these vendors off to the side and ask for things like meal preferences or allergies, all that kind of stuff. I've also taken this opportunity, since we're a little more than a month out, but I did start asking them for their COIs. This is really important. The venue does not need COIs from pre-approved vendors on their list, but if they're not approved, they do need to send that over. So I sent that email out. Great. Kent replied, sounds great. Perfect. This rental company was excited to work with us. I am so excited to work with them. And they've gone ahead and told me their arrival and pickup time. We love that. So planner's table, 10 a.m. arrival, 10 p.m. pickup. This this group, this rental company does tabletop rentals only. So I know there's another rental company coming with other stuff. So let's plug in. Whoops. Wait, where did it go? Oh, it's still here. So 10 a.m. planner's table load in. And I'm just going to make a note. Tabletop rentals is what this is going to be. And they're going to be loaded in tabletop rentals to Grand Hall. So this is the thing. This property has 2 locations on property. We're using one for ceremony, and then we're using the other for reception. So this is going to the reception. Great. And then I'm also going to take the opportunity to say, I already have a 10 p.m. music off guest depart, and I'm going to just make a note, planner's table loadout, comma, because we're going to have a ton of other vendors to put in this category. You can do also vendor loadout. Cool. Okay. That takes care of that note. Okay, Brittany says delivery time will be around 1 or 2. Now I have to remind myself who the heck this is. Mixed Up Cakes. Great. So the cake person will arrive between 1 and 2. So I'm going to put 1 to 2 p.m. Cake block. She'll put their full vendor name. All mixed up cake delivery. A note that I want to give myself. Do they provide a box for the cake? For the cake, the top of the cake top. This is important to know. Great. Okay, drag that up to 1 p.m. Okay, great. That takes care of that email. All right, Event Rentals by Rothschild. So they are our second rental company. Our team will be arriving between 9 and 10 for setup and return at 10. Okay, this is interesting. I then am going to make myself a note because if I remember correctly, the venue opens at 10. Oh, no, wait. Yes, Nichols Air venue opens at 10. I need to get approval from the venue to make sure they can come in at 9. I am pretty sure it's going to be okay, but as a planner, I need to double check and make sure that is approved. Events by Rothschild rental delivery. Great. I'm going to say, can they arrive as early as 9 a.m.? We will find out, but that is important to note. Okay. There you go. I also need to confirm their pickup time. They didn't say. Did they say pickup? 10 a.m. for setup. Oh, return at 10 p.m. for teardown. Great. Great. We love that. So we're adding them to this pickup time. Events by Rothschild. Okay. That takes care of that. And then I went ahead and thanked everyone who replied. Okay, so that's all we have for those vendors. So that means I need to go through and just confirm some stuff. I need the hair and makeup schedule. So I am going to have a one-on-one conversation with that team. We're going to confirm this arrival time. I am going to make sure the client is providing to provide. I also create a little bit of a packing list for them too. So once we have our final call, we decide like, okay, yes, the client is providing all of this. I make sure that I put that on their packing list. Planner table load in, those will all get moved. Oh, so that means actually this rental company is probably All in the grand hall, question mark, TBD. Cake, and they're also headed to the grand hall. Oh, I'm just gonna put it in here. I have a category that says where. Here, that's where we're going. So I'm just gonna do grand hall. Great. So this is good for me to know that whoever is delivering to the glass house, which is ceremony only, I'm going to probably have an assistant there, and I will go to the grand hall and receive the rentals and all the other stuff there. I also want to know cake server. Who has that? Does the client? Okay, we need to find a time for the private vows. That's something I'm probably going to talk to the photographer about. I also want to add in a time. So hair and makeup schedule, I always like to add in a time of when the bride should be done. TBD, I'm going to work backwards. Bride, hair, makeup, done. I then have another line item where I want to get her into her dress. And a note here, getting into your dress does not take 5 minutes. Please buffer. I mean, I seriously buffer 30 minutes because it takes time. They have to go to the bathroom. They need like beads zipped up or whatever, buttoned. So I'm going to say bride gets in dress. So please, please, please buffer enough time. And if they're done early, not a problem. Not a problem at all. Okay, so here's what we're thinking. If we're working backwards here. Guest arrival is 3:30. I would like them. Okay, so here's what I'm going to add. This is literally, you guys are hearing me brainstorm out loud. By 3 p.m., I need bride and groom chilling. And we're going to have them chill in the bridal suite. Like, they need 30 minutes to just be away, be hidden from everybody and just not be bothered. The wedding party will probably still be there. So by 3, they need to be away. So that means their first look in private vows, to give us enough time to do photos. I mean, do we think 2? Let's try that. I'm going to write a note, confirm with photographer though, because that is important to know. So let's say by 2, they're doing their first look. I would like her to get into her dress at 1:30, maybe 1:45 at the latest. She should be done hair and makeup at 1:30. She's done her hair and makeup. She gets into her dress. They will be in the bridal suite. Both of these items, both of these things. That is sweet. Great. Okay, tentatively. So guest arrival, there's going to be a pre-ceremony drink. So the bartender is serving that, which means I need to find out when is the bartender arriving. TBD, bar team arrives, and that is a company called Whiskey Wench. And I am wanting to have a separate phone conversation with them because last time I worked with them, it felt a little chaotic in the sense that I wish they had moved faster in setting up the second location. And so I really want to make sure they are prepared since we have like 2 locations that are driving distance away on the same property. Like, I don't want the guests to get to the other location and then the bar team not be ready. So I want to have a conversation with them. Okay, so bar team, let's say, gets there. They're setting up the pre-ceremony drink. Guests take their seat. We start at 4. Well, I guess if guest arrival, let's say by 3:15 here. They don't need that much time, but they should be hanging out. Okay, ceremony starts at 4. I don't think we have programs or anything. I just want to ask decor for ceremony. Oh, and my florals, right? This is, what time are my florals arriving? They have not answered yet. The florals arrive. Move them up. They're probably earlier in the day. And they're gonna have to do both locations. Okay, any other decor from the client, TBD. So great, ceremony ends, guests move to cocktail hour at the Grand Hall. This requires transportation. I do need to know, will the venue provide transportation? I need to know this because I thought they did. They may not anymore. Okay, so the bar team is going to pass wine and signature cocktails at the second location at the Grand Hall. Beautiful. Oh, and this is going to be Grand Hall patio, basically. If it's too, we do have heaters, so I'm hoping it's not going to be too cold. So an hour and 15-minute cocktail hour, move guests inside, which I'm going to make myself a note that at 5:35, move guests inside, because it could take them a while to find their seat. It's a plated meal, and I do want to make sure that we have enough time to get them situated. So give them 10 minutes. You know what? Let's give them 15 minutes. Let's buffer that. I love a good buffer. So great. They move inside. We do our grand entrance, welcome party with the bride and groom. Confirm. Okay, we need what we need. We need the songs. And then I need to confirm song, question mark, and confirm names / how to introduce. First dance. Obviously, that's just the bride and groom. Oh, well, that's, yeah, we're gonna, obviously. Okay, song, we do need to know that. Welcome toast, this is gonna be Jenny's parents. Great. Then dinner's going to begin. It is plated. The caterer is gonna handle all that. We love it. We're gonna sit back and relax. This is typically when vendors eat, but actually I need to add that as a line item because I need to see TBD, vendors eat, and I need to find out the location that they're going to eat. Location. And then allergies, we'll write that in our count. Count, and allergies. Great, so then an hour-ish for dinner. Towards the tail end, we are gonna have the bride and groom get up and go cut the cake while people are still eating. It's gonna be, I wrote a note here, private photo and video, small cake plus sheet cakes that will be served for the guests. So I do need to make sure I have a cake table. Confirm cake table placement, because they did their own rentals. So this is just stuff that as the wedding coordinator, month of, more or less, I need to confirm that they did their job and found and made sure to add this to the rental order. Okay, after cake cutting, we are getting into some other toasts. Maid of honor, best man, make sure the DJ has their names. And then we will get everybody to come up to the dance floor for parent dances. We need the songs. And then we're gonna open up the dance floor. So people kind of join at the tail end of that song usually and open it up. And that's nice because that's when I get to sit back, relax, probably start cleaning up the ceremony area and take a breather. We will do a sparkler grand exit. And I need to know, because I've only done the sparkler grand exit up at the glass house, not at the grand hall. So I need to confirm location. And bucket, guys, very important. Never do a plastic bucket for extinguishing sparklers. Do a bucket with or I guess if you do plastic, like those hard plastic, but put sand at the bottom or a little bit of water and have people just put the bucket down and have people put their sparkler in it, because if you hold the bucket, you are going to get burned. The venue does provide this bucket typically, so we'll make sure of that. And then 10 p.m. music is off, guest depart, vendor loadout. I do want to make sure transportation, because are they gonna park at the first location probably for the ceremony? Transportation back to cars? Question mark. Need to confirm that. Okay, and then essentially they are going back to another location for the after party, and I'm not in charge of anything there, so I will basically be staying until 11 to load out and clean up and do all that thing. Do a final walkthrough. So I like to make sure we do final walkthrough and sign off with venue manager. Oops, I should put this in the notes tab. Great, and that is the best way, you guys. If you're still watching this is the best way to get on preferred lists. Always making sure you check out with somebody at the venue at the end of the night is the way you will get on preferred list, to make sure you did a good job, and not to be afraid if the venue manager says, oh, you're actually responsible for cleaning the bridal suite. Do it. I mean, you will have to have been told ahead of time that you need to do that, but there's usually house rules and contracts and stuff. So know your contract, know the rules, and make sure you check that off your list every time. So there you have it. I have obviously some outstanding things to do. I know there's some vendors in here that I haven't added. Oh, I know right away. There are some large marquee letters that are going to be displayed. What are they called? They're like light up letters. Arrive, location, question mark, need arrival, and pickup. Pickup times. But yeah, this is it. So I'm going to continue. I have obviously all my red questions that I need to fill out, all the final information. I've got more than a month left, and but this is looking real good. I will basically, once I'm done this, I will save it as a PDF, and I will send it to my vendor team and ask them. I will say, oh, photographer and videographer. Oh my God, look, see, this is the problem with my brain. TBD, photographer arrives. I need to know how many hours in package. And then TBD, videographer arrives. I'll also want to know their end time. And then same here, how many hours in package? Great. We know they're going to be arriving earlier in the day, of course. But yeah, don't freak out if you don't know all the vendors right off the bat. Like, have a conversation with the client and then go and email your vendors this timeline and say, hey, would love your thoughts on this timeline. How do we feel? Especially your photo and video team. They might find that something's tight in here and they want more time for portraits, or they might feel like, maybe their client said, we don't really want to do a lot of photos. So we want a shorter cocktail hour so we can get to dinner and dancing, stuff like that. Speaking of photos, I also just thought family photos. Usually those happen during cocktail hour. So I'm just going to make a note here. Family photos need shot list. That is also something I send my clients along with the packing list, is a shot list for photos. Very important to know. Okay, I've got work to do. So I hope that was helpful. And let me know in the comments what you think. Is this an easy timeline to understand? Is there something that you would do different? What do you think of this system so far?